Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Soulcation Podcast. I'm super excited because I have Janette R Smith today. She's a trainer, speaker, author, and certified life strategist mindset coach. She's an award-winning journalist where she spent over 30 years interviewing top thought leaders that we all know. Oprah, my auntie. Zig Ziglar, Dr. Phil Ayala, my other auntie, and Tony Robbins. And for the last 15 years, she has empowered high achievers and challenged them to dig deeper, to experience greater levels of success and fulfillment. Janette, welcome to the Soulcation Podcast.
Thanks for having me, Logan. I love it, love it, love it.
I'm so happy to have you on. So we have some good stuff to talk about today.
Okay.
So first question, who was Janette before the brand? Before the interviewee, who was Janette?
The dreamer.
Okay.
The dreamer. Yeah. Ever since I was little, I just always knew innately that I would somehow want to be doing something that would impact people in a positive way. And so I thought that it would take on, and it did for a while, many different roles. So at an early age, I thought it was going to be entertainment because I love to sing, I love to act. I grew up learning and playing classical piano. So I thought that my gift would be in some form of arts related thing. And then I got to college and my parents were like, oh no, you're like going to get a real job. Like, I was like, what? You have me doing piano lessons all these years for nothing, And so I think I got to that place where we all get to, where you're looking for identity. And what does it really mean moving forward into your adult life? And that's when I got exposed to, I actually ran off to New York when I was in college because my friend was on Broadway, and I said, no, you were my little brother. That was my dream. So clearly I'm supposed to be attached to that dream. So I went up there. That didn't work out. I came back. My mom said, listen, stop running from school. You'll find your niche. And it was there that I found it. The news station came up to do a story on my campus. They interviewed me with many other students. And the news director saw me and said, there's something about her. And that's how I got introduced to journalism and news and that whole field. And he just cast vision about the importance of being, somebody is a mirror to what's happening in the world. And that's how I got started in journalism. So I always like to tell that story because it reminds us, if you just stay in your right place, even though you don't feel like you're in the right space, but just kind of stay on the path and it will come to you. Like your purpose is wanting you to operate it. So just be in the right place and it will find you.
That is so good. Your purpose. Say that again. Your purpose.
Well, is always trying to find you. Like we are created to solve a problem. We all have these different gifts. I know that rappers and singers and musicians and athletes usually get all the play and, in the spotlight, but really we all have gifts and we all have talents and we all have something unique to each of us that we were put here to do, to solve a problem. You and I were talking about things we have in common, like Baltimore and, what we love about seafood and stuff. But I look at you and I don't see somebody who would just get jazzed about taking a saw and like opening up somebody's skull to do surgery. Like you don't strike me. Me, all of that. Like we're like, nothing about that is like, gets me pumped. Like I'd probably pass out on the floor.
Oh God.
But somebody out there, it's not that they're but it makes sense to them. They have the stamina mentally, physically to do all of that. And they can see things that thank God, because we need brain surgeons. We need all neurosurgeons. But it's not me.
No.
But they have it and we need it. And that, just like that, you have stuff that the world needs, right? That's on the inside of you. And if you don't do it, I mean, it'll get done eventually, because I believe that, there's always love is always looking to solve problems. And so if you don't do it, then somebody else will, be raised up to do it. But in the end, we all are here on assignment to have some sort of positive impact. And so you never have to worry about where was my purpose. You might have to sit for a season and kind of go inside and do some self-discovery, ask yourself some questions, take inventory, that kind of stuff. But purpose will always be trying to find you as much as you're trying to find purpose.
That's so good. I like how you said you have to sit in it for a season.
Yeah. I call it the dirt work.
Mm.
You know, like a seed, when you plant a seed, right? It's dark. There's nothing happening up under there. And a lot of times we feel like that means nothing's happening. But if you actually go look at the germination process of a seed, before a seed even starts growing above ground, it starts growing roots underground, right? It cracks open, and that's painful. I mean, think about the times when you've had to be vulnerable and transparent with yourself. You have to open up. That's a vulnerable place, you know? You're not protected in your little shell. And then the seed grows roots down, because, you know, if you don't have roots and you're not grounded, whatever you grow on top of that's not going to last. So I think sometimes we give ourselves a hard time about doing dirt work because there's no glamour, there's no shine, there's no lights, camera, action. But that in the dirt is where the foundational stuff takes place, so that anything you build on top of that will last.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's beautiful. So what did you learn mainly from Oprah and Ayanla? Like, what were your takeaways from them?
I think from Oprah, it was that she's a person just like everybody else, you know.
Yeah.
I remember an encounter that those spoke to me about character. I think the one day we were going to do some promos. I was working at a news station, and we were going to do promos together. So I got to sit in on the show first, and then we were going to do the promos together after. And I think they had a bad day. I wouldn't know, the audience wouldn't know, but I heard her crew talking about it. And Dean was her floor director and manager back then. And if you used to watch the show, Dean, she would refer to him often, you know, that kind of thing. And so when I went behind the set, you know, they were talking, buzzing about whatever had gone wrong or whatever. And I am very big on energy. Like, I need energy to be right in the space where I am, so that I'm already nervous. It's Oprah. I want to do my best. I don't want to be the one doing 19 takes with Oprah, right? Yeah. And so I'm trying to get them to kind of get the buzz back to a place of peace, so that I kind of feel cool. And so I remember just saying something like, you know, well, y'all, I'm sorry you had a bad show or incident or whatever that was. I said, but, you know, we couldn't tell to the naked eye. We thought everything was flawless. So, you know, kudos for carrying that out, you know, or pulling that off. So right around that time, Oprah's coming around the corner. Now, you just heard me say, y'all, I have lived in different cities all over the world. My father was in the military, so we even lived abroad. But there's something about y'all that I can't get rid of. Yeah. That's just a part of the Southern girl in me. It's just y'all will always be there.
You're talking to somebody that grew up in Mississippi. I understand.
You get it.
I'm going to say it during the interview. Don't worry.
Right. So she comes around the corner and she goes, yeah, y'all, something, yeah, y'all, sorry you had a bad day or something she did. And I was like, you know, part of me was like, oh, you get a little snarky with me, you know, but I just kind of sucked it up because it was my time to do the thing. And so they were trying to get it going. So they were like, okay, here we go. Janette, you ready? On your mark. Okay. In 5, no, they're counting me down from 10. And she goes, oh, well, I didn't mean anything by it. And I said, oh, it's okay. You know, you kind of are excited the first time you meet one of your heroes. And she really was, because back then there weren't a lot of me in news and television that I looked up to. And so they're counting me down 10, 9, 8. And I said, oh, no worries. You know, I just was really looking forward to meeting one of my heroes. So thanks for the opportunity. 3, 2, 1. And I nailed it. Like whatever the thing was that we did. And I didn't make a mistake. I nailed it. And it was so funny because after that, I saw her self-check. Like I saw her go, okay, we had a bad show, or we had a bad, whatever that was. Not her fault. I'm not gonna bring that energy to the space. And I have since, and I'm sure you have too, heard her use that phrase, take responsibility for the energy you bring to a space. And so she was very kind after that. We did our thing. We had fun. It lightened up. She took me on her own personal tour around the studios. I had brought her a gift of a book, a spiritually minded book. We took pictures. I still have that picture of she and I, and she's holding the book that I gave her. And so I always think about, of all the different kind of interactions, that really spoke the loudest to me, because, you know, you're a human being. We all have bad days. We all have bad, but you don't have to live in it. Like, you can just let that moment roll off of you. You especially don't have to take it out on somebody else, but you can self-adjust. And I just thought it spoke to me of a maturity and of a character, because you're Oprah. You could have acted any kind of way and nobody would have said anything or done anything, but she chose to adjust, you know, and have a more positive out. And that always has really spoken to me.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
What about Ayanla?
Now, your auntie Ayanla, I think what has always connected me with her is that the strand of coaching that I do actually comes out of the lineage of Anthony Robbins. It's about transformational coaching, strategic intervention, where you look at a situation, and you're looking to get to the root of why you're there. And while the process of healing really is a process, if you can figure out the root of that thing, shift it, and undo the doing, so to speak, then to me, I've seen better results. And, you know, Auntie Iyanla, that's kind of where she is. She's about getting right into the root of it. And I have also seen with her, I've been mentored by her being more than just her brand, right? And so when she maybe overstepped on something, or when she might have been a little harder, she thought that she should be rough or tough loved, you know, and then something, you know, she needed to make a correction, to be able to say to herself, you know what, I'm going to shift her this, or I'm not going to apologize for that. You know, that's what you needed in that moment. To the fact that she shares so openly her journey, the ups, the downs, the ins and out, the flaws, the dirty draws, all of it, you know, I respect that. And I think that we as women, we tend to want to hide behind this perfected phoniness curtain, because that's what people want to see from us. And it can be very scary to let people see the flaws. But I feel like that is where we grow as women. Like I got issues, you got issues, we all dealing with something, you know, but can you do your self check, and do you do the work to raise that thing up? You know, we're all going to have lesser strengths. Quit trying to pretend like you're perfect. Nobody's perfect. You know what I mean? We don't have to and it only happens because we compare and compete. Like, if I'm not worried about you and you're just trying to do your best life and I'm just trying to do my best life, we don't have to worry about competing and comparing. But because society kind of almost in ways places us in those positions to compete and compare, we take that on. We don't have to take that on. And so she's very secure in what she does. She knows she gets results. Her intention and her motive is to see people get free. Yeah. And because of that, she can just share and, you know, I messed that one up. Do it better next time. Or, you know, whatever. And that's what I love. I love the authenticity. That's what speaks to me.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as a coach, let's switch gears. As a coach, you work with a lot of women, or a lot of people in general, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So some people I'm sure you've met, they have so many ideas. They want to open up the barbershop, the beauty shop. They want to open it all. They want to do it all. They've seen it all. What would you tell them to do first? Somebody with a lot of ideas.
Yeah. Well, I'm a dreamer. Remember, we talked about this. Yeah. And so I get people who have this huge toolbox with a lot of tools in it. And many times it's not that they suck. It's like they're really good using like 8 out of those 15 tools.
Right.
But what I say is let's filter down to where you are now in this season of your life. Let's take my example. In one season of my life, I was a journalist. I feel like I did it well. I got awards. I did, I helped people. Things changed. I made a great living at it. I loved it. But after 9/11, that role no longer fed me. And I shifted. And I took my little toolbox with all those same tools, and I went over to the entertainment industry. And then I did that, and that fed me. And then that was enough. And then I needed to shift again. And then I found my space in coaching. I did consulting for businesses and things of that nature, and artists and stuff like that. But after that, when you look at one person with 5, 6 different roles who did very well with one toolbox, but it all came down to, what is my purposeful intention for this season? How am I supposed to be used in this season? Like I firmly believe I would not have been a great coach if you go back to when I was in news. When I was in news, I feel like I was supposed to be there for that time, given exactly what my objectives were, my mission and vision for life. But now I know I'm supposed to be doing this. So I really try to help people first find, like, where are you in life? Like on the line, on the grid, what is your intention? What is your focus? What is really pulling to you? And you can really tell, because for some people, it'll be the things that they're just really drawn to. For some people, it's the stuff that just pisses them off. It's like, that just irritates me. I was like, well, that might be because you're supposed to be a solution for that. You ever think about that? And they're like, oh. The people that say, why don't they just? I was like, well, why don't you just? Maybe you're supposed to be the just.
Amen.
Maybe it's supposed to be you. They're like, oh, I didn't think about that like that. I just love helping people connect into their place of purpose. I had one client beautiful girl who thought that she wanted to be a nutritionist. And a lot of that was born out of what she thought her family would respect. It came from some of her passions, but it was really about what she thought how other people would see it. That, she'd have this 9-to-5 job, she could do that. But when she did the work, and I have a book that actually walks people through that whole purpose planner. When she walked through it, she was like, you know what? I'm doing this for people, not for me. And what she really wanted to do was to help at-home mommies learn about nutrition, learn about healthy living and lifestyle and working out. And she said, but I never saw that. I said, well, innovators will never see the cookie cutter of what they're supposed to be, because you're innovating, you're creating it. So that's what we do, right? We look for, let me find the template for what I want to do, but maybe you are the template maker. So then what are you going to do? And so when she moved over to find that, now she's flourishing. Now she has all these clients. Now, she's free. She's had 2 kids since then, and she can still run her business. So it's really about finding what your purpose is and what season of life you're in, and see where they intersect. And that's where I help kind of people flow in that direction of pursuing.
Amen.
Yeah.
So after they go through the purpose planner, they're strategic about where they want to be, and they understand what season they're in. So let's say they're in motion and they're touching their dream every day. How can you get them past stuck? If they're in the idea, what is your go-to method of getting them stuck from whatever they're experiencing in their business or their life plan?
Well, that's the funny thing, is that people, I won't say all people, but many times we think, oh man, once I get this, I'm going to be happy. Everything's going to be cool. It's going to be, and what we learn, right, is that what used to be the ceiling for you used to look up and go, oh, if I could just get that, you get it. Now it's your floor. And you look up, oh, there's another ceiling. You know what I mean? There's always, because from when you're leveling up, there's always these areas of breakthrough that you're going to encounter, because that's just part of the growth process. And so I work with people that are just beginning. I work with high achievers, and it's all the same thing. It's like, I just thought when I got here, I wasn't gonna have to worry about this. Now you get to a level where high achievers are like, now I'm worried about maintaining this level. Now I'm concerned about, not not slipping, not falling? How do I reinvent myself? How do I stay relevant? How do I, and so really that's an individual process dealing with each one of those, but it's really about helping them identify what usually it's unresolved issues that are coming up, unresolved emotional things that speak that negative dialogue, because sometimes half the stuff that we worry about never even happens.
That's
you
so
know
true. That's so
yeah
true. So it's
yeah
really rewiring your mindset and how you think.
It is, and it's about learning to have a process of self-check, so that when if you're sifting, if for those of you out there who may bake or do anything, if you're sifting, you sift it to get the best out, and the stuff that doesn't need to be in the cake or whatever you're making, you toss it, right? Well, we don't do that for ourselves quite a bit. Think about all the stuff we're inundated with. I read some studies the other day that say we encounter in one day more tragedy, death, and destruction, and things that would trigger depression, sadness, and whatnot than we used to in a lifetime in one day. That's just scrolling through your timeline. Because we used to not be exposed to this person shot, this puppy killed, this baby thrown off a balcony, and these things I literally just saw within the past 2 days. So I'm saying, when you think about how we're inundated with that, because we don't seem to be moved, we think, oh, it's not affecting me. No, it's affecting you.
Yeah.
Even this beautiful iMac that I'm sitting in front of, and your computer you're sitting in front of, those electromagnetic energy, it zaps our energy, all of these things. So we have all these things coming at us mentally, physically, physiologically. And so, you have to learn how to unplug, get back, recharge, clear out mental baggage, emotional baggage, spiritual baggage, all of it, so that you stay detoxified from a lot of what the world kind of keeps throwing at us. And for me, when I can get people in a place of purpose, and then you can learn how to maintain that, we're all going to have questions. We're all going to have self-doubt now and again. That stuff is normal. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I mean, we all, at any level, I can tell you, anybody gets it at some point. But if you can check yourself on and go, wait a minute now, is that true? Is that really true? No, that's not true. Because that negative self-talk would challenge you.
Yes.
Girl, you wasting all your time doing these little things. And you're like, am I really? No, that's not true. And I'll tell you what's beautiful is, if you stay open, you'll have beautiful affirmations come to you by way of people's, saying, hey, I really appreciate that work that you did on this, or, oh, I just saw this post on that, and that really just blessed me, or that just really just, inspired me. And so you'll find these things that will happen, synchronous, I like the synchronicity of things, and you'll see them happening, and just to kind of remind you, no, you're on your path, just do what you're supposed to be doing. Right. You're on the right track.
I love it. So since we're talking about that, what is your self-care, self-love regimen? How do you keep yourself full, happy, content?
Joyful? Yeah. Well, from a physical standpoint, I have to have massages. Like I just have to. I just have to. It really is. I used to shame myself about, you're spending, like if you do a massage envy or something like that, you spend $75 for a massage or whatever if you get their little package. But, when you really think about investment, like I'm a cancer survivor. Amen. I know the effects of stress on your body. I watched a tumor that I had grow from stress when I was working in news. I didn't know that that's what that was. I had a little lump here. And when I was starting in the industry, it was very, very nerve-wracking, timelines and deadlines, and I'm learning something new, and you have to perform, you got to be perfect. And I just watched this little thing grow. And it was malignant, by the way. They got it out. I never had to have any chemo or anything after the surgery. And so I'm so grateful to God for that. But I saw firsthand how stress, because everything is energy. You look like a solid human being, but if we put a microscope up to you, All of your atoms are buzzing and moving around. Everything is. Everything that looks solid is. And so that means everything has energy. You know when you walk in a room and the energy is off. When somebody is not for you or something, you know, you can feel it. It's palpable. Yeah. Like that stuff is real. And so I just had to quit shaming myself and just say, hey, if you feel like this is giving you health benefits and well-being, then you do it. So that's one thing I do. I'm very spiritually minded from a faith-based perspective. So for me, community of church is important. But I'm also very diverse in the ways that I understand energy. Like I have friends that practice Reiki that understand about moving energy and clearing you from negative stuff, you know. And so I find those things that work for me. Meditation is huge, you know, waking up with a practice of gratitude, just thanking God for the stuff you have. Quit focusing on what you don't have, you know, focusing on what you can be grateful for. Setting your intention for the day. That's huge for me. Like today, I want to have impact on people in a way that will be fun, that will be exciting, that not only for them, but for me. You know, just little things. And I find that the more I do that, the more it delivers. You know what I mean? Yeah. I remember waking up just let's see, we're at the end of this week, earlier in the week, and I knew that there was somebody struggling with with something, and I was like, if I can have a positive, and this was like a personal thing, I was like, if I can have a positive impact on that situation, then let me be used that way. Amen. You know, it wasn't even really my thing, but I'm just kind of circling on the outside of it, and sure enough, it resolved. I was able to just say something to give that person comfort, a different perspective. And I thought, and I didn't even think about it until that night I got ready to go to bed. I went, no, you set your intention that if you could have positive impact in that situation, you would. So those are the kinds of things that, you know, just really clearing out negativity. If I need to Netflix and chill and just watch a bunch of comedies, you know, then that's the prescription for that day. You know, it's really it's being in touch and in tune with where you are and what do you need? Yeah. You know what I mean? And what's missing and really going to the root of it. And I'm not talking about like, okay, so let's emotional eat. I mean, but pausing and going, why do I want to do that? Yeah. You know, why do I do it? And let's deal with the real thing that's going on. And I might just need some fresh air. Maybe I've been working on a project and I need to get outside and get grounded, get some fresh air. So it's really about listening to yourself, being in touch and in tune with yourself.
That's so good. So let's talk about the women's release retreat. Is this something that women are going to learn in August? I was reading about it. I was like, okay, release retreat.
Let me tell you, that is one of my favorite things. Oh my God, it is one of my favorite things. Let me just tell you, Logan, I'm sure you've been to women's conferences or something like that.
Too many.
Yeah, I get you, me too. But there's something about when women get free in a positive way, it is so powerful. It is so powerful. And so what we do at the Women's Release Retreat, it's all about, so the different ones, the one you saw, I think you're talking about LA. Are you talking about the one in LA? So the one in LA is a retreat. It's in August?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. So in August in LA, that is actually a retreat. That's going to be 3 days. We also do parties, which is like one night. But the whole focus is we come together. Now there's coaching, right? There's one-to-one coaching. We try to keep it intimate. So it's only like 40 or 50 people. Yeah. Right. Because I want that one-to-one with people. We really dig in. We use several techniques of my coaching practice to help women identify what is that unresolved stuff that's holding you back. We walk you up to a place where you're ready to deal with it and face it. And through meditation, through all types of things and energy work and all sorts of things, we help women get free. And when I tell you by the end of that thing, there's only been a few women who have experienced some very, very traumatic stuff who then we pass over to some colleagues for referrals for like ongoing therapy just because of the level of what they have been dealing with. And so they're continuing to walk out their freedom process. But those are women who before couldn't see themselves even talking to somebody or, releasing the story to pick up a new version of their situation. And so that thing I got goosebumps just because you mentioned it, because women don't get how powerful we are. When we use our power for good, I'm telling you, we could run this whole world. We can't tell them that. They're already scared of us, which is why they try to keep us.
Yes,
but we are so powerful. And if we could quit fighting each other and ourselves, so much we could, you know what I'm saying? Yes.
So good.
Yes. And so that's why I get so excited because I have seen these women, like women, the older women, that's the thing that gets me. Like when you get older women who are like their 60s and they have been, you know what I'm saying, a certain way for so long and they're not changing for nobody. And you get them to talk to you and say, you know what, I'm not too old to change. And I'm just like,
because it's hurtful. It's hurtful when you go to somebody that's 55, 62, and you really are asking for help.
Right.
And they just shun you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm so glad you brought that up, because what we have to remember is they've been through some stuff. Yeah. And unlike our generations and, those below me, they don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Release is not what they did.
Yeah.
Bury it down is what they did.
Yeah.
So now you got women walking around with decades
Ooh.
of crap. You see what I'm saying? Decades of unresolved issues, of hurts, of betrayals, of self-inflicted stuff, of stuff they can't even they can't forgive somebody else, but they can't forgive themselves. And they're just walking around with all this stuff, and it comes up as this wall of just, and to see those walls come down, to see women who say, I will, you know what, that relationship, I'm not trying to be in a, to say, you know what, I am open to love because I deserve love. Yeah. When all of those things happen, I'm telling you, you can just take me out. That is my favorite thing ever, because we are so priceless. I mean, we're just such awesome gems. Yeah. I just really want to see women win, 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 win.
Yes. And if one person wins, we all win.
We all win.
Yeah.
That's it. Because you think about it, when a sister is in her best, most elevated, most empowered self, yeah, she's always looking, because we're nurturers. We're going to reach back and grab somebody. We're going to reach back and help you up. We're going to reach back because we don't have to worry about, is there enough light on the stage of life for me and you? I know there is. So I'm going to help you. I'm going to reach back. I'm going to help you. What you need. We're going, and then now that trickles out, and then they start helping lift other women. It's such a beautiful thing. It's such a beautiful thing.
We already lights. No need to fight for.
No, exactly. Exactly, girl. Exactly.
Yeah. That's so good. Okay. Just to summarize one of the, tips she's given us. What does identity look like as an adult? Maybe that's a question that we should all ask ourselves. Your purpose will find you. We are the solutions to problems, and love is always looking to solve problems. Don't be afraid of the dirt work. Something great is always happening. What was once your ceiling might end up becoming your floor. So be okay with that adjustment. That's just a couple of things. I'm sure you already got it
with the nuggets, girl.
I catch all the nuggets, honey. I'm about to go back and listen to it again. We're going to do some rapid soul questions. The first thing that comes to your mind, since this is the Soulcation podcast.
Yeah.
Who's one person that you admire a lot?
My mother. She's 87. She'll be 88 this year. Yeah. Still doing real estate. Love her. Yeah.
Okay, Mom.
Uh-huh.
What is the last song you listened to?
Oh my gosh, what was the last one? I think You Are My Daily Bread.
That's good. What is one product that you must use every single day? It's your go-to product.
My go-to product, gosh. Right now, it's Gorilla Snot, because I got to get these edges laid down for the natural summer flow.
I haven't heard of it.
Oh, girl, it's the gel that lays it down with the lay down. Now, it looks just like Gorilla Snot. I'm just going to tell you. But it holds.
Okay. I can see they laid. They are laid. Okay.
Okay.
If you could go to dinner with anyone, who would it be?
Oh, wow. You know, probably Michelle Obama in this season.
Amen. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's one book that you believe everyone should read, male or female?
Outside of my own, right?
Outside of you can definitely tell us about yours after this.
I would say, and some people will be weirded out maybe by it, but it's called the Celestine Prophecy. It's really about a journey. You know how we've been talking about a journey for identity and coming to realize that a lot of the things that we think we need to fulfill ourselves and fulfill our destiny is really right already inside of us.
Nice. And the authors.
Oh my gosh. Now you're going to make me, I'll Google it. Keep asking me questions.
Okay. Tell us about the purpose planner in your book.
Yes. So the purpose planner came from people asking me like my purpose. And I was like, you know what? This is a question that we all deal with. And so I wrote the book From Dream to Reality, Navigating the Path to Your Life Purpose. The purpose planner is in it. It's one of the tools. It's an action journal. So you do the exercises, you do stuff. And by the time you get done doing the inventory and doing all that stuff, it walks you down to your particular, roles or jobs that you might want to, start looking into and digging into. I'm excited because I'm working with something with Greg Centineo. You might have heard of his son, Noah Centineo. He's been doing a lot of Netflix movies. He's becoming one of those up and rising stars. But we're getting ready to do what we call a huddle, where you can do live coaching around the subject of purpose and self-discovery. And so I've got a second workbook for that. And so that's going to be cool, because just like how you and I are talking, imagine if it's just like 10 to 12 people and we're going and you're getting the benefit of me coaching you while you're doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we're really excited about that. We're just excited about people being in their place of purpose. So yeah.
Different world if everybody showed up like that.
Yes. Yes. Half the stuff that's going on in our country. Mm-hmm. If we had the right people in the right place and people weren't so fear-driven and driven by, this kind of these inferiority complexes and all those kinds of things, just get in your place of purpose. Boo, this is not the job for you. Move out of the White House and go find something else. I'm done.
Lord.
Even he has purpose. He's just not there. Let's move along.
Thank you so much, Janette, for coming on the Soulcation podcast. This has been the most, I laughed. I have thought about some stuff while you were talking, interview ever. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you. And just continued success to you. You stay on this hustle. You hear me? I know you get frustrated. I know you have self-doubts. I know you wonder, why am I showing up and putting on the pretty smile and doing all this? But you are having impact. Keep doing what you're doing.
Amen. I receive it.
All
and
right.
I will.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.